scared to death to do it. When we first saw the bus, we just drove by this bus one day in a parking lot. It was at the school that used it. They had used it for their sports teams, and it was just sitting in the parking lot, and Chris and I stopped to look at it because we thought it was a different price than it was, but they had $7,000 on the window, and I just thought we were killing time, like we were out for a Sunday drive. It was the beginning of the pandemic. We were getting tired of being in the house all the time. And, I thought we were just looking at a bus. Ha ha, look at that bus in that parking lot. We just drove by. Funny. And next thing I know, Chris is really researching. He has called the number. He's like, Amber, I'm going back. They're going to let me look at it. They're going to let me in. They're going to tell me more about it. I'm like, okay, well, you go find out all you want. We're not buying a bus. That's crazy. People don't just buy a bus. Like, I saw a bus on the side of the road and I bought it. Nobody says that. Nobody especially does that. So I just was like, okay, well, we're bored. It's the pandemic. Nothing makes sense anyway. Okay, let's go look at a bus. And we did. We ended up looking at the bus. And Chris found out very positive things about the bus. It was a Detroit diesel. It had an Allison transmission. There's only 388,000 miles on it. It had been used by the school since 1997, and they had every detailed record of service, of problem, of anything that the bus had encountered, because it was run by a school, so they had to keep up immaculate maintenance records. So Chris is just trying to sell me on this bus, and I just keep thinking, there's no way. Like, he's not really talking to me about buying a bus. He can't, that's not something people really do, right? I've always been interested in tiny living. I would just, absorb the YouTube video, and I really thought, oh, that would be the coolest thing ever. And Chris is like, we should buy the bus. There's no negative about the bus. We research other buses of this kind. So the bus turned out to be it was a deal of a lifetime. At least Chris convinced me of that. Even if it wasn't, I did my research too, and it was a really good deal on the bus. And Chris and I decided that what would we do with a bus if you bought a bus? Because you got to have a place to take a bus. Who has a place to take a bus? And I really thought that was going to be my out. I thought having to have a place to park a bus, we're never going to be able to come up with that. That is the hardest part of the now equation, because it's realistic. We could own a bus here any moment, but we don't have a place to take it. So I quit having anxiety, but then I remembered 20 years, 30 years ago, my dad had a pontoon boat. Parked that pontoon boat on a slab of concrete that he poured to accommodate the big-ass trailer with the big-ass pontoon boat. That moment, I was like, there's no way. I'll tell Chris, because he's going to think that I'm following along. I'm excited. I'll do wild things. I'll make choices about buying a bus. I'll sure do that. But at every block, I was like, no, there won't be a place to park it. So Chris went and measured the wheelbase of this bus, and we went to the parking lot. We're out there in the parking lot with measuring tapes. We're trying to figure out all the dimensions of the wheel to where the bus, at the end of the bus would be, and how much room we need for the bus to sit on the concrete pad that happens to already be poured up. And then we came back to my mom's house, and first, of course, we had to sell my mom on the idea, and we did. Easy peasy. She didn't care. And then we measured. And guys, it was the exact measurement. I looked at Chris, and I'm just like, no, we have measured wrong. There is no way that bus is going to fit perfectly on the cement block that has been poured 30 years prior for this bus to come home. Because right now, this is all I'm holding on to, guys. I don't make crazy decisions like this. I talk about it. I dream about it. I think, wow, wouldn't it be cool to live in a tiny house? But I don't actually do it. We go back to the bus. We measure again. Chris's face is lit up. Chris is like, Amber, I'm really serious. These measurements are measuring. And I'm like, no, they're not. Just measure it again, and we'll go back and we'll look. And we did it again, and we came back, and it was the real deal. I had to, that day, decide whether or not I was going to be on board with buying the bus or not, because I was paying for half of this bus. Chris went back and talked to them. They were asking $7,000 for the bus. We got them down to $5,500, and then we brought the bus home. People are gonna say you're crazy. I felt crazy when we were making the decision to buy the bus. You guys, do y'all see where I'm sitting right now? Y'all, I live on a bus. But we were going to look to see where we park, and how this and y'all don't look at the trash pile. We're getting a dumpster when we get back from Colorado. So just ignore the trash pile. We're building the whole bus. But, I don't know how easy it will do. We'll do a zoom out shot first, and then we'll bring you in closer. But, so this is our driveway that we park in. And it's a pretty good sized driveway. There we got the advantage of a 2-car garage that we get to use as our workshop, and it's detached from my mom's house. You can see Chris up there on top of the bus, doing the darn thing. And the driveway is good size, so, you know, we do have the room to work with. But as you get closer, you'll notice, I don't know if you can tell, but there is an incline, and this goes up a little hill, and then it's a flat pad. I don't remember the exact measurements of our bus, however, I'm sure Chris might, but it goes incline, 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 and it's just a little hill until this line right here, and that is where it levels out and goes straight. Okay? So right there, we're just a hair bit off that incline, but it's still pretty straight. And then, right here, you can see, guys, we're just up over the lip. And then, right on the fence. I mean, we just rest ever so gently against the fence. But that's us. That's the whole reason we got to get the bus. Right there, guys. If it weren't for the cement pad and my mom, not being so cool, then we